Alright, hello again, algebra students. This is your lesson for Friday. Flipgrid is at that link. You've already found the YouTube lesson if you're here. So, hopefully you know how this works by now. If this is the first video you're watching, you should probably go back and watch the ones from Wednesday and Thursday. That would be a good idea. But let's jump right into it, shall we? At this point, you should pause this video and try that problem in your notebooks, and then unpause it and see if you did it right with me. Okay, this is exactly what we did yesterday. This is the square of the binomial, which means we can use the square of the binomial pattern. I see a minus right there, so this is a minus b squared. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a square of a binomial pattern. Let's make this a little bit. Yeah. So this is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So, color coding, as usual, the first thing we do is we're just going to square the first term here. So we're going to take 4x and square it. That gives us 4 squared and x squared, ooh, which is 16x squared. X squared, there we go. Alright, next we have minus 2ab. Remember that minus is going to come all on its own, so actually a better thing for me to underline would just be that 2ab. So now we're going to do 2 times a, which is the first term. So 2 times 4x times b, which is negative y. 2 times 4, I'm going to do the 2 and the 4 together. 2 times 4 is 8. And then there's remember there's an imaginary 1 here. So that's like a negative 1. So we'll call it negative 1 times 8 is negative 8. And then, of course, the x and the y have to come along for the ride. Perfect. So that's our second term finished. And lastly, we have our b squared. So that's our last term, but squared. So negative y squared. Negative times a negative is a positive, so this will be positive y squared. Beautiful. Now we just need to put all these together into our final polynomial. 16x squared minus 8xy plus y squared. And a good way to check yourself is just to make sure that this pattern is actually being followed in your answer. So a squared, 16x squared, yup, that makes sense. It checks out. Negative 2ab, that's negative. If I just put these terms together, that's negative 4xy times it by 2 is negative 8x. So yep, looks good. And then last term squared, well, y squared is just y squared. So yep, everything checks out. Everything looks good. Hopefully that one wasn't too bad for you. And if you did all your homework, I don't think it would have been. Alrighty. Next, let's move on to what we have for today. Today's learning target says, I know what the sum and difference pattern is. So another pattern today, but a little bit different than yesterday. Different because it's the difference pattern. I am funny. Yes, I am. The success criteria says I can use the sum and difference pattern to solve problems. So we should be able to use the sum and difference pattern for our homework today. But what is the sum and difference pattern, you ask? I'm so glad you asked. This, in the blue box, is the sum and difference pattern. There's an example of it on the right as well. Please pause this video and put the blue box in your notes, because it is important. And once you've unpaused the video, we're going to talk about exactly how this works. How is this pattern, how do we know it's real? How do we know it's true? So let's get a different color we can see easier in here. So if I take a plus b and I multiply it by a minus b, I'm going to get a squared minus b squared. That's it. That's it. What? Mrs. Dodge, it can't be that easy, can it? What? Okay, well, let's check out this example that they gave. Let's check it out over here. X plus 3, x minus 3. What we're going to do is we're going to FOIL this bad boy. So, first, should we color code? First is x times x, which is x squared. Outer is x times negative 3, which is negative 3x. Inside is 3 times x, positive, so it's plus. And 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. If that went too fast, replay it. You can even slow down. When you replay YouTube videos, you can actually set the playback speed to slower. We just foiled it without color coding this time. And now I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have an x, a 3x here, and a minus 3x here. Well, wait a minute. When I put these together, minus 3 plus 3, that's just 0. So when I combine these, there is nothing. They just go away. And in fact, the way that we write this is that they cancel each other out. We just draw a line through them like, nope, no more. Because, woo, negative 3 plus 3, that's just 0. So those completely go away. And what am I left with? I'm left with x squared minus 9. Which is exactly what they got in the end. And it fits the pattern perfectly. X should be x squared minus 3 squared. It makes total sense. Alright. And if it doesn't, ask me questions on our YouTube live stream each day. Okay, so that is the pattern. Now let's do some more examples with it. We kind of already did one, but we're going to do a few more. Using the sum and difference pattern, this is our success criteria. So, you could FOIL this. You totally could. First, outside. You could do that if you want to. Absolutely could. And you would get the same answer. Or, we can follow the pattern that says a plus b times a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. Always minus because this is a positive and this is a minus, and a positive and a minus make a minus when you're multiplying. When you're multiplying, this is multiplication. When we have a plus times a negative, it equals a negative. So that's why this will always be negative. Okay, so let's take green. And we're going to take our first term, a, and we're just going to square it. So we have t here. T squared is t squared. Okay. Seems easy enough. Now, blue, sure. We're going to take our second term, the b, which for us is the 5, and we're going to square it. 5 squared is 25. And there better be a minus between them, because that's what the pattern is that there's always a minus there. So that is your final answer. That all of this t plus 5 times t minus 5 is just t squared minus 5. Woohoo! Yay! That one wasn't so bad. Let's try another one. Okay. Different colors this time. Let's use yellow. Alright, so same thing. I have a plus here and a minus here, so I'm going to be able to use this pattern. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a, the first term, which is this 3x here, and I'm going to square it. 3x squared, 3 squared, times x squared, so that is 9x squared. Beautiful. Next, we're going to take the last term, the b here, and we're going to square it. So y, oh, well, y squared, just y squared, just like that. Beautiful, and now all we have to do is take the first term, our yellow term, minus our second term. So our final answer will be 9x squared minus y squared. Ta-da! And if you don't want to show all of your work, if you don't want to show all of your steps, like this, if you can do that in your head, awesome. Awesome. I don't care if you do it in your head, as long as you are sure that you're doing it right. Okay, those are the examples that I have for you today. Pattern today I think was a little bit easier than yesterday, because all it is square the first one, minus square the second one, and that's it. If you have questions, well, okay, here's their solution, which is, yeah, you can always look at that on Google Classroom. If you have questions, be sure to tune in to the YouTube live stream. Ask me any and all questions you want. And don't forget that I'm going to be posting homework solutions in the Google Classroom for you. Yes. All right. And this, of course, is your classwork. Work on it, please. If you do, I will give you points for it. But if you don't, it can't count against you. So, take your own destiny into your own hands. Take your learning into your own hands and be responsible. I trust you. Alrighty, and your launch. Your launch for today. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. So when we talk about physical strength, how much weight can you lift, that's one thing. But when we talk about the strength of a person, it doesn't solely lie in your muscle. You also have emotional strength, mental strength, the ability to persevere, to keep trying when things get hard, whether it be in your personal life or in math. So your strength does not come from your muscles, it comes from you never giving up and you having the mindset of, I can do this as long as I don't give up. Like, I can't do this yet, but the more I work at it, the more I will get it. And math, coming from someone who did math for 4 years in college and got their degree in math, this is so true. I had cried over several college math classes that I took because it was just so difficult, but I didn't give up, and look at me. I have my college degree. So, don't give up. Even when it's frustrating, don't give up. Tune into Mrs. Dodge's live stream and ask questions, and never give up. That is your launch for today. Have a great rest of your day, and hey, have a great weekend. Bye.